One thing I just don't like is this show. This can be simplified. This is like duplicate right here, duplicate right here. And it doesn't even look the prettiest. So I could do like 1, 2, 3, 4 and now make it look at least a little bit better. Here I can show you. Cargo run. Add Marcus to sales. Alright. Add Joe to sales. Add Tom to sales. Show company. Sales. Dun, dun, dun. And I can do things like add a name here, the department, things like that. But in order to do that, we should probably make that into another function. I'll put it here. It doesn't really matter where I put it, but underscore print to screen, print department. Naming things is hard. Call it print map. We're going to take in the map. It has to be mutable because we need to sort it. And we do not need a string, but we do need this. So we've taken this, control copy, mutable map, put that there. And we need the department. Word department going in. Yeah, we need the department. Oh, so yeah, print department. Department. And make that into a string. And this is going to return, we should probably return the map. Paste. End of that. Very bottom, return the map. And this is now print department. Department. So the reason why it's print department is because we can just pass the department in. If I spell it correctly. And the logic we had down here, where is it in the show command? Yeah, so we can write it right here. At this point in time, we have our department and we have the list. Given that we have the department and the list, here we can say things like print line. It's going to be the department. And then I guess we can sort before it, but we can sort after. It doesn't really matter. Wait. Does this need a hash map? This does not need the hash map. This needs the list. Yeah. Because we're passing the list, not the hash map. List. This is going to be a vector of strings. And for the sake of argument, let's return it back. I don't like keeping things. So now you are a list. And here we're doing list.sort unstable. You do not like that. I guess you do now. And then everything we did here, control copy, put that here with the correct formatting, of course. Enter, return the list, put a space between those two. That should work. And then here we will be replacing this stuff with underscore. I can set the list equal to underscore print department, and we're going to take in the list, which is immutable list. We're passing in a key. And you don't like that. Here we can do the same thing. The key will be the word. We're using it as lowercase, so that's going to be the department. So we can say that list is equal to print list, whatever they gave us, and then the department being the word dot we decided on using lowercase. I can just use the word directly and see why they're yelling at us. All right, see why they're yelling at us. All right. So how about this? Given that we have the list there, let's take out this mutable reference. And now when we come down to show, it is just a reference. List sort before we pass it in. List.sort you expected like string found mutable string. Oh, still want you to be a pointer. And you don't have to return anything if you're not changing anything. Now come down to show. Everything seems to be in order. And we have this yelling me about this mutable thing in terms of warnings. Mutable list. Well, let's make sure everything works. Marcus to sales, add Joe to sales, add Christy to sales, add Tom to team. So now we have two departments. Show sales, Christy, Joe, Marcus. Show company, shows both teams or departments. And then if we want, we can exit. All right, so let's get rid of the debug statement and see how many lines of code this is. Right now it's 116. Get rid of that. That should stay. Add is still printing out this map thing, not needed. Index. That was just an example. It's not a documentation of the code. This was the link to how to do standard input. No longer needed. This was us printing out the index in the word. No longer needed. There's an extra space here. This was documentation of our instructions, what we're going to do next. We have now did that. We do not need that line. This is our documentation of its steps we were taking next. No longer needed. Don't need this line either. This was documentation or debug statement for exiting. No longer needed either. And with that being said, we are down to, make sure it still runs, a little less than 100 lines, well 96. We already know it works, so let's go up here and look through what we have. Quick overview. We have our main function, right? We created a map. We have an exit boolean. We need the exit boolean because you need to be able to break out of the loops. And we have two loops going on simultaneously. One here, and then one here. We have our standard in, which returns a standard in struct, this guy. And then we iterate over the lines coming from standard in. We have a lock, which gives us access to a buffer which we import here, just so we can use the buffer methods. Back here, we have lock lines, which gives us the line from the buffer. We do a match statement on the line because the line is in an enum, a result enum that can either be a string or error, seemingly, or okay or error. If it is okay, then we have the string line, which we're printing the line. Don't need that either. We take the line and then we break it into parts, splitting by white space. So we have each word in the line. And then we split the word, we trim the word so there's no extra spaces, and we make it all lowercase so things match properly. And what I mean by properly is that add with a capital A matches add all lowercase, because add is still add. That's the user intent. We use enumerate, so we have the index of each word. And we're looking at the first word because the first word is going to be our initial command. We have our options. We have our add option, which is here. If word is equal to add, then do this. Add it to the department. Pass in the line, go through that functionality, add to the department. If word is equal to show, go through the do this block and do the show command, where it can be show company or show department. If word is equal to exit, set exit equal to true. Then once we get out of this for loop, come down to the end of this for loop before the next line, see if exit is true, break out of this for loop, and then we exit out of the program. So we have a smooth entry and exit plan, right? And then we have the add department, which we can go to that function. Both of these functions are pretty similar in functionality. We take in a string, a line, right? The original line, we just pass it in here. We already know that the first word is add, so we can just skip over the first word and look at the second, third, and fourth word. We need a add name to department. So the second word is going to be name. We define a global scope for name here, set it to an empty string. And then, I guess if we want, we can double check to see that the name isn't empty. I don't think we have to though. Theoretically, I don't think we have to, because we did a trim. If it was empty, then it would have been trimmed out. And we only had 3 words. We never get to the department. Something along those lines. There are error cases in here somewhere, but for the bulk of the logic of what they wanted us to do, I think we have it. So anyway, we see the second word, which is index 1. We take that, we copy the name over into the name variable, we have it saved. We go over to the third word, then fourth word. Fourth word is going to be index 3, which is going to be our department. We have a department name, we save it. There's a possibility that the department does not exist, so just in case, we create a default vector and we pass it in here. So now we go to the map entry. We do an entry for the department, or if it doesn't, if the department does not exist in the map, give us our default, which is going to be this. And then we push the name onto that list. That list can either be empty, the default, or it can have an existing list there that we're pushing onto and just adding onto. that is the add to department. We have our print department here, which I guess we can move to someplace else. Control X. Put that down here, or at the bottom, or at the top. At the top is a helper function. Put it at the top. All right, so our show command, similar logic to the add command. We have the string comes in, call it line. We break it into different words, take the index, and then for this case, we do show company or show department. If the second word, which is at index 1, is company, then we show the company. We have a little helper function for printing out the departments. We pass in the list and the key, but essentially we do a for loop over the entire map. We sort the list so that the names in each department is in alphabetical order. And then we send it to the print department function, which is here. It's just a simple loop over the list, and it just prints out the department, space, 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 and print out the names. That's it. And now in the case if it is not a company, we have an actual department name, well, then we print out that department. So first we try to retrieve that department from the key. That department may not exist, and if it does not exist, we have an empty list. We could probably change something here and check to see if the list is empty, and then if the list is empty, print out a name. Actually, no, we can add that here. Let's do that now. So we have the department, we have the print out names, but we can do an if statement here, right? If list that is empty. In the case that list is empty, we still want to do something. Right now we just have a blank, nothing there. There are no names. Print no people. No people are in this department. Oh, this department is empty. Period. That seems fine. Let's just show you what that means. Control C. So this department is empty. We can do show sales. Sales, this department is empty. And for parity's sake, we can add the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exit. Run that again. So sales, this department is empty. And that's a little cleaner. Exit. Minimize that. So yeah, that covers the show command. We add company. If it doesn't have company, we take the department, which may or may not be empty. We pass in the word, which is the word at index 1. Second word is going to be the name of the company. Pass that as in name of the department, I should say, department. We pass that for department. We have our list, and then we print it out. And at the very end, we have exit. Type exit, break out, ready explain, and we have the error case, which technically speaking, we haven't gone over errors because that's the next section of the book, but seemingly if this match ever results in error, it's going to print out there was an error. And that is the end of the program. I hope that was useful. This was kind of tough for me, but at the same time, this is very interesting. It was kind of vague in terms of instructions, but I think I accomplished it. Hope that was useful. Hope that was entertaining. Hope you got something out of it. Peace.